Welcome back to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Sam.
I'm the other half, Mel.
Hey, you guys. Today we are back at ya with, another cute topic of struggling. Are you on the struggle bus? Yes, I'm riding that bus. But specifically, we're talking about struggling while you're in a relationship and all the things that come with that. Currently, I am single, but I still have stuff to say, as always. I will have something to share, but also,
I guess this isn't like about me, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, it's not about Mel. Don't
I am
worry.
struggling and in a relationship.
There are things she can attribute as well, but it's more so just in general, like, I don't know, the topic came about in terms of, like, I think we're all over the, like, you need to be healed to be in a relationship kind of aspect of things. I think it's less about being healed and more about the effort and just, like, wanting to be in that relationship,
right.
Choosing it.
Right.
That's basically all it comes down to. Obviously, there's a lot of other factors, but at the end of the day, you don't have to be fully healed from all your trauma because it's honestly probably not gonna happen. You're just gonna always be working on it, and that's okay.
Yeah. You're gonna be a work in progress forever.
Yeah.
And similar to the last episode, the last main segment episode we talked about grieving. Like when you're in a relationship, as you go through, like, especially if it's like long term, that's the goal, right? Long term relationship.
Yeah.
And you're like growing up as people and like really evolving into, you're gonna evolve into different types of humans, and with that comes more like triggering times, and you're gonna get constantly like you have to reevaluate after every once in a while and like figure out what your stance is, what you're feeling, how are you managing now, what still hurts, what doesn't hurt, all that. So
Man, we have talked about like the check-in kind of aspect of relationships, I guess, like in relevance to what we just talked about last week, like a big life event, like someone passing in your life. I think we all know, like, oh wow, you're going through something, right? Like that's an obvious thing. But if you're in a relationship, there's probably another layer of that, because I guess, like, best case scenario, you're your most raw person with your person, so
right.
They see like the full, I guess, effects of what grief or a big life change can do to you. And obviously it's great when it's good things like a new job or whatever, like those are all quote unquote easier, maybe not, but sometimes easier things to like move through with someone.
Yeah.
But struggling specifically is probably hard, especially if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're on different pages of life or something, or like one of you struggling, one of you's not, or you're struggling at different things. It probably feels like overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, we're just struggling. Like we're all just struggling. Which, like, in general, we're all struggling.
So put yourself next to a person for a while, not much has changed, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that piece of like, oh, we're just both just struggling is really hard. I feel like for the last 2 years, Logan and I really like switch on and off about who's struggling at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like it all kind of came to a point like this year when we were dealing with like family deaths and also like buying a house and stuff. I felt really chaotic. She did too, but you could tell she's like trying to hold on because it's not her turn yet, kind of a thing. And it just ended up being like we're both fucking like just really going through it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it can be really hard, but it also might be a little bit easier depending on your type of relationship. Like there was definitely moments where I was like, I want to be taken care of because I'm going through it. But I also understand that like if we're both on the same like vibration, there's not a lot to like
expect
from one another. It's like we're both understanding that we're at this level right now. sometimes like all we can do is just sit on the couch and like hang out. And that's okay, you know?
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, we always talk about like relationships aren't supposed to make you feel better or whatever. Like it's not the other person's job to make you whole or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like a shitty realization to be like, I'm not going to make this better for you. So like, we're just moving through it together, essentially. And that's really all it has to be though. Cause like, I guess since now I have like the single perspective of like not having a person to like do that with at the moment, it's like when I am in a relationship, like a good reminder to be like, all I wanted was someone to physically be next to me or like ask me a question, like, are you okay, or whatever. So like it's a good reminder to be like, I don't need you to fix it for me. I don't need you to be like, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna, like, it's not about that. It's just like, I know that you are there and you care, and that's it.
Yeah.
So like, I think it is hard when you're in a relationship though I'm just speaking from like past experience, like going through something and wanting or expecting something out of the other person, which like some of them probably were fair. Like when my grandma died and my ex went to Palm Springs on a vacation that I was supposed to go on with him, like, you know, like there's just certain...
Wait a minute. The way that I
mean, he did that, but also to be fair, we had just started, I'm like making excuses, but like we just started dating and he didn't know my family and it was COVID. So like there wasn't much you could do from home anyways, but at the same time, it's like you're over there getting drunk, not really checking in on how I'm doing, or like, it's like that part, you know?
Yeah.
So like there are certain expectations that I think are reasonable to have of a partner when you're going through something or struggling, or even in the sense of like, you don't have to be dealing with something specific, like I'm losing my job or someone passed away.
Right. It doesn't have to be an event.
Yeah.
It could just be, I'm really struggling.
Yeah, I'm really mentally and emotionally or physically struggling right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I feel like some days I'm like, I just feel really heavy, which is like, we've talked about that. Like, I just feel like I'm not physically where I want to be. So like, that's a hard day. That's me struggling or whatever. And like, it's okay to have like wants, I guess, in a relationship, but it's like, you can't expect things out of people. It's, I don't know, you know, like there's that fine balance of like, they're also meeting you where they're at.
Yeah.
So you can't expect things because then they feel like shit that they didn't meet where they're normally at maybe, or where they would like to be at, but they're just not. Like, I can't imagine, I don't know, I've never actually been on the struggling end of things while another partner was also struggling and not being able to feel like I could give them at least like 80%. Which like probably has to do with a lot of other factors. I can't imagine how hard that does feel like in a lifelong thing.
I mean, yeah, it creates tension, and it like, I feel like it'll create, I mean, I can speak from my own experience. It creates tension, or it creates, and like, I think it's just because, like you said, like there's expectations in some form, and I'm, you know, whatever, sue me. I don't give a fuck. Like,
sue me.
I feel like if you're in a partnership, long-term relationship, when somebody like, when an event, or just like in general, if you're just down and you're fucking needing someone and you're struggling, it's not your job to make me feel better, but it is your job to support me. That's like your job as a partner, is to support the other, you know? That's the bare minimum. I'm not asking to do X, Y, and Z, but your job is to support me, or support me to a capacity. I don't know. Like, I'm not asking for a lot, I guess.
Yeah, I guess some people just take that the wrong way and then are like, no. You're supposed to like, I'm having a bad day. You're supposed to go get me stuff, buy me things, take me places. And that's the
other side.
Yeah.
But like, and I feel like if you can't, like, I feel like some people though, like I've been in relationships before where like if I'm going through something difficult, the other person likes to run away when I'm in like a chaotic state,
like not happy and cheerful and like
in a good
mood.
Like it's a problem. Then that becomes like, oh, so you only want me when I'm like okay, or I'm the only one who's supporting you then when you're not okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had like the extremes of that, but it just seems like if you're not a person who's willing to do that, then, or like you get uncomfortable with like people being sad or struggling.
Like anything but happy.
Yeah, I think you got some things to
just
to
like
deal
reevaluate
with.
if you should be in a relationship.
Right, that's what I'm
essentially.
saying.
Yeah. Which is still hurtful.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
But that's like the reality of it all. Like I think you need to be ready to support someone when you're struggling. Like when they're struggling, I mean.
Yeah.
And I guess like with what I said, like with when you're struggling, that's another part. Like I think for me and Logan, like in the moment that we do struggle a lot personally, like on our own. And I think it's such an ebb and flow though, that like some days she can give me 70 and I can give her 20. Some days I give her 90 and she's at, you know, a 40. Or like it just fucking depends, you know, like it just, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And sit with the fact that that's just like, it's not personal to you or the relationship. It's just like,
yeah.
I think that's that piece. Like in my past, like when they did want me to just be happy and like go fucking
annoying,
just being annoying, like it was like upsetting to just like to uphold like this like version of the relationship and the version of you that you
that part
needed to be for some reason. And like
I can't admit that I'm in a bad mood right now.
Yeah.
Which is like, why? Yeah.
And that's the whole point of a relationship, though. It's like to see all sides of a person.
Yeah. And I think there's also just, I think the biggest thing in that is the communication aspect. Because it's like, sure, we have expectations of like, you were supposed to do the dishes and do the laundry and do whatever it is, right? Like,
yeah.
And then you didn't. And I got home. And instead of you had like told me, hey, I had a really hard day today, I did X, Y, and Z, or I'm going through X, Y, and Z, whatever, right? It's just like coming home and seeing that you didn't do anything. And it's like, okay, well, you could have at least communicated it to me. Like,
yeah.
You know, right? Like, there's just like, those are the bare minimums, I guess, like communicating where someone's at. And that's okay. And I feel like
I'm guilty of that.
Of like not communicating
No, I mean, maybe that too, but like the other side
or like
of,
coming
like,
home and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
but like being upset, like being actually upset.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should be more mindful because I don't think like Logan is lazy at all. And like she's always trying to be productive. So the moments where she comes home and she's just like on her phone on the couch, because like that's literally probably the capacity her brain can be at.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, we have to walk the fucking dog. We haven't had any dinner yet. Like, and I'm like, and that's like my another thing. Like, I could take control of some of those things, but like we like to do a lot of things together. So it's like,
if we're doing them together, then
yeah. But then like I see her doing that, and I'm like, if I'm also not in a good place, it just like it heightens it more. Where I'm like, why are you just laying down? You know what I mean? And then it's like, instead of asking, also like you could be the person to ask, like, hey, is everything okay? How are you feeling? You know,
or just like if you're task focused, like, hey, we need to walk the dog, so I'm gonna go walk the dog, and then it's just like I'm doing what I need to do regardless of where you're at kind of thing.
It's just over communicating everything for sure. And like, but it would be helpful in those moments for her to come home and be like, honestly, I had a really bad day. I don't want to just like literally I want to doom scroll on my phone. Like, let me just be like, for sure.
Okay, then I'll focus on whatever I can get done or whatever. Yeah, I think it's hard too, because to even communicate it is like a whole nother layer, because like when you're single, you just go home and you're mad or sad or happy or whatever,
you're sitting by yourself with it,
and you just kind of do it. But then when someone's like like, I feel like the most annoying thing is like when you're in a bad mood and then the person you're with is in a really good mood. And they're like, what do you want to watch? What do you want to do? Should we do something? What do you want to eat? What sounds good to eat? Oh my God, are you hungry? I'm like, shh.
Guilty. That was me this fucking morning. I did not sleep because I had my cough. And Logan's like, and like, bless her, dude. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
But like, we're both like in a spiritual center and whatever, and like she'll bring up stuff that was said, and I'm just like,
you're like, now's not the time.
I don't want to fucking hear your like stupid positivity right now. Dude. Like, let me just fucking complain. And in my head I'm like, Melissa, you're being so fucking stupid. Like, just let it go. Just be grateful.
Yeah.
But then like the outside me is just like, just shut up. Like, everyone just stop being happy. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's like, oh my God, like, you know, at least we're moving our bodies. Like, and I'm like,
you're like, I'm so tired.
I just
want to
fucking go to sleep. Yeah. Like, you know. And then she'll try to bring up solutions like, yeah, maybe like you can get home and like go to like take a nap before we leave for bowling, whatever. And I'm like, I don't fucking have time. Like, of
Just
course
negative.
I can
Yeah.
make the time if I wanted to. I could be like, hey, you know, Sam, I can't record the last episode today, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But like, I don't. Instead, I'm just like angry at life, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can you shut up with your positive, like solution oriented mind, please?
That's also the thing is like being a partner, you have to like read the room a little sometimes. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, thank you for saying that.
Sorry, Logan. Logan, I love you. Logan, yes, positivity is everything. But sometimes you just gotta silence neutrality.
Just neutralize the bitch.
You know? And if she keeps coming at you with the negative stuff, I'm like literally speaking to Logan.
it's like a cue.
Like, just be like, okay, babe.
Honestly, and that's even more effective because then I'm like, oh, I'm being so negative.
Right.
You know?
See? There you go. She just told you what she needed via the podcast. Hopefully you listen to
thing
this
is, it's
episode.
like, and it's hard though because like she'll take things personal. She's a very sensitive gal. So like
Right.
I can just say something like slightly out of like
Tone
and it's like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm very sensitive to like tone too. But I get annoyed faster. And it's just my
Yeah.
it's my
See,
my
there's like the
demons.
balance between like each partner's like freaking personality and like what they prefer communication style. Like all these little things that when you're struggling in a relationship, not in your relationship, but while you're in a relationship, like that come into play. And I don't know, like I guess like zooming into my own like world of like what I guess I'm looking for is like just somebody who fucking acknowledges that and is like, yeah, I know it's gonna be a lot of work. Like that's it. Period. Yes, you're willing to put in the
not
work.
like you're asking for too much, you're being annoying about this or
yeah.
whatever. But
Because it's like you're annoying. You're annoying too, King. Who made you think that you're the fucking god who has no problems? Oh, me, because I fucking solved them for you.
Oop.
That's what I did for my exes. We're not doing that this time.
This time's a no.
No, but actually. And like, oh my god, I went on a spiral on TikTok. Was it TikTok or Reels? It was like, yes, it was this girl. She was like, when you know, like, you know, and like all of a sudden, like, it all makes sense to you. And I was like, now I just don't trust myself. Now I literally just don't trust myself because I thought I knew. I thought I had this like epiphany and it didn't work out. So I'm like,
But the thing about that is you haven't actually known.
well, apparently no, because
And
it's
that-
not been reciprocated.
I agree with the you know when you know. But and like I feel like a lot of people say that because like you think you knew,
You think you knew, yeah.
but you won't know until you know. This is gonna be the fucking trailer. I already know.
When you start knowing things, that's when you know.
Literally.
But I
though.
think like the problem in this specific situation was just the reciprocity of it all.
But it's because
Well,
you
'cause they
didn't
weren't-
actually knew. You didn't actually know. I can't fucking speak anymore. The news and knows.
No, but yeah, anyways, I just felt like, oh my god, I can't trust myself. Like, what the
And
fuck am I
that's
looking
fair.
for?
That's
like,
fair.
what am I genuinely?
Just keep at
Keep
the...
it on. Do I get back on the apps? What do I do?
Yeah, dude.
These apps are literally so annoying though. Anyways, this is
I
not
want
the
you
topic.
to just... I know, because I know Tinder's like not the place.
Dude,
but
no.
I just... Because that availability of the...
For you guys to
Yes.
swipe? Oh my god. I just make a Tinder so you guys can use
Yeah.
it.
So we can
You guys
have
are like,
fun.
are you free on Friday at 5? This guy wants to pencil you in.
Just put us on your Google Calendar.
Oh my god. Not the topic. But aside, like looking for a partner, it's just like you need to level with me. You need to be like, yes, things will be difficult at a certain point, and I will be there for you as best as I can in those moments. Like, that's all I need. Just give me a like, honestly, it's a fucking silver platter these days. It's so hard to find someone who is just like the full package essentially. But I feel like all of my friends are full packages. Where's the loot? Where are they at? It's not our time yet. Whatever.
They're still growing up.
TikTok, dude.
TikTok, bitch.
Biologically, I need to have children at some point. But yeah, I just think there's so many like layers of making sure you're there for your partner, I guess. But also as a partner who's struggling, like acknowledging that like you're not your best, and it's like you kind of got to humble yourself a little bit. Like, I'm not my best, so I really can't have these expectations of them to like fix it or change the situation, I guess. Like, as much as we wish that someone could do that for us, I mean, it's like the same thing as like your parents, you know? And that's why some people get in weird relationships with their like, they get some weird parent stuff going on. But like,
essentially you end up like dating pieces of your parents because that's what you were raised like. That it just makes sense biologically that you're just like you're seeking the same morals in the same people that raised you, whatever. But some people do like literally date their daddies, and then it's weird. You know.
Sorry, Dad. Love you, but I'll take pieces of your essence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't get caught up in that and wanting people to fix you or wanting to fix other people, because that's been my issue.
Mood.
Wanting to fix other people. And I just don't got the time no more for that. As much as I love a little project. The boundaries are strong these days.
The project ends up taking its own life, and then you're like, wait a minute.
It literally is no longer a relationship. It's just a project between the two of you that you're working on.
Literally.
And that they're mostly benefiting from.
I mean, yeah, like going back to what you said about like being the person who's struggling in the relationship. Mm-hmm. I think it's best to always like over communicate and also not expect them to just know that you are, that you're the things that you're feeling, like whatever struggles you're going through, like it's not clear to them, you know?
Yeah. It's so hard when you're in the moment of struggling to be like,
yeah,
I need to just breathe and say, I don't feel good. Like, getting that out sometimes is so hard. Good. It's like, no, it's hard though. Like, I literally don't want to communicate with anybody. So me having to be like, I really don't feel like talking right now, you know, sometimes can be really hard, because then you start thinking like, I'm going to hurt their feelings. They're going to think it's about them.
Usually that's where it comes from. You don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings, but then you end up hurting their feelings. That's what I was going to bring up is like, a lot of the time I feel like the way when people are struggling, the reason it goes south is because no one addresses the fact that they are struggling with something, or they don't want to address that like it's affecting their relationship together. But when you don't do that, you're giving power to it, and then it becomes like this thing that overcomes everything, and then you can't even like, it's almost like you can't even like, you can't come back. Like, you're just gonna say things you don't mean, you're gonna like do things that you don't mean.
Yeah.
Going back to cheating, I feel like people, that's what like it happens, like because people are struggling, they don't address the issues, then they go and do things that they think are gonna help them fix like the feeling.
In what world? I don't know. But
I don't know, but or like, you know, just like in other ways struggling. But when you're not addressing those things with the people that, with the person that is like there to support you and love you, what are you doing? Like, you know, you're just creating an environment literally for something bad to happen between you two, because
also how at the beginning we said like, you don't have to be 100% healed to be in a relationship. I think some people take struggling as an opportunity to leave, I guess, like an opportunity to run.
Absolutely.
Well, on both ends, whether it's the person struggling who wants to leave or the person
struggling.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, well, this isn't easy anymore. And like, I guess at the end of the day, that shows you that they're not meant for you, or that you're not meant for them if you feel that way, I guess. But I think that's like another layer of like, if you're struggling either before getting into a relationship or within a relationship and you have the urge to run, one, check in on yourself and be like, do I have issues of like
maybe you're
running?
Struggling, right?
Yeah. Or is this like a healthy boundary that I've set? And like, if you're already thinking it, probably it's like a healthy boundary that you've set. But I just think that's also another layer of the struggle of people wanting to leave. I mean, I haven't experienced like wanting to leave something because things are hard. Yes, correct.
I'm like, ooh, the project just got a little harder.
I'm like, wait a minute, no, we can fix that. It's fine. It's fine. So, but just another tidbit, because I feel like a lot of people, at least I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about that aspect,
wanting to run when there's struggle ahead. Yeah, I think that's super relevant. I feel like people, especially it's like the people who can't handle their own struggles are the people who tend to run from people who are struggling because it's just like overwhelming.
Yeah.
They don't have a grip on themselves. It's like, how am I going to help you if I can't help myself?
Which, like, I guess maybe at the bare minimum to be in a relationship and be okay with, like, struggling or with someone else struggling is, like, you have to feel like you're, like, you know who you are, I guess. Like, you feel like, in general, you can handle your own. Like, you don't need that person for anything other than to be your partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole fixing thing again. Like, if you're going into a relationship thinking, oh my God, they're making my life better because now I have someone to lean on and fix my problems and distract me or whatever. Like, we do fun stuff together. I don't know. That's probably not the best spot to lean in on somebody at. Like, they don't want to fix you. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're fixers. There's fixers out there. We kind of do want to fix you, but we don't actually want to.
Yeah.
It's so much work. And you're unfixable. Let me just tell you right now.
Not unfixable.
Bitch, they were all unfixable. There's nothing we can do to change anybody.
All of this is just bringing me to a point where I think it's like the thing that I say is like, love is a commitment. It's not like, it's not a feeling. Like you're not with somebody for the circumstances and the situations that you are in, but you're making commitment regardless of like what stage of their life they're in, that you like can be there to you don't have to do anything really. You just got like, supporting someone is just like being kind to them and loving them through a hard time. Like,
yeah,
you know, simply put, like, if you can't make a commitment to somebody when things are tough, then it's not it for you. Like, I don't know.
I agree with that. I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
And I keep having points in my head and then I like forgot them.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I bet it's probably really easy to like commit to someone when they're doing really well.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of
You're
course.
like, oh my God, they're a lawyer. They're like making X amount of money and they take me on vacations and blah blah blah. And then it's like 10 years into someone's marriage, things hit the fan, and that's why people divorce, because they committed when things were easy. Not to say like, oh my God, you needed to be there through law school and all the hard shit and all that. But there is something to say about those people. I will say I really badly with my first boyfriend wanted to be that bitch. I was like, I was there through the hustle. I was doing the sneaker shows. I so badly wanted to be that bitch. And then like, oh my God, high school sweethearts. Like, he did me dirty so many times, but look who stuck around. Like, girl, why?
Giving basketball wife.
Literally. I'm like, he cheated, but look at him. Like, he's killing it.
I mean, there's something about that, though.
There's something to be said.
Like, I think
like I don't want to bring up...
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pissed.
But I'm like, that's a down-ass bitch.
I am a down-ass bitch. No,
but honestly, on her end, though, like...
Okay, Vanessa's better,
by the time she got cheated on...
Oh, well, he was already winning.
Like, they had won. You know what I mean? So
they did.
Like,
she could have left.
I've been like, I'm gonna stay. Like, I'm already here, right? Like, she already put the effort in from the beginning, dude.
That's what I'm saying. But she still could have got... she loved him. I don't know, man.
Oh, rest in peace, Kobe.
I know, rest in peace.
GG.
But... Anyways, struggling in a relationship. I mean, like, also just on like major shit, like the major life changes of like, just like fucking parents dying at some point, or like,
oh my God, that's
mortifying.
I'm scared.
I mean, having children, obviously, life changing, big event. I don't know, like all these other things. Like, you have to know that you can go through those things with that person. I guess that was my point. Like, yes, you could be winning with somebody, and like when you meet each other, you're both fucking winning at life, or whatever, whoever the fuck decides what winning at life looks like. Whatever it is to you, if you're both doing it, I'm not trying to say like, oh, well, you don't know if you're gonna fucking succeed. It's just like acknowledging that I know things will get hard at some point, and no matter what, I want to be there. Obviously, there's contingencies. Like, I'm not saying if they fucking murder somebody and whatever, you know, You don't have to stay with somebody. I'm not trying to say all that. Why does my brain go there, dude?
No,
everyone's thinking like
I was thinking about the guy from that 70s show and like how his wife like divorced him.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I found out that you did some fuck shit,
I'm leaving.
I'm out of here. Like, clearly
it's
you
just
were
the
lying.
struggles are
you
know, that whole like concept of like losing parents and it's scary to me. And I feel like I had with Logan's situation's very specific, but like her losing her grandmother was like losing another motherly figure for her. She was like the matriarch of the family. But years before that, like the concept was always out there. Like she's getting older, you know, like, or like she would go to the hospital for something and it'd be scary, you know, it would be a worry. And then I just kept thinking to myself, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's scary. It's a scary thought. Like, what is this person gonna be like once that happens, you know? And I thought about it. And I was like, I wonder if like that's gonna be something that really like brings
changes
on
who she is.
Yeah, or like bring on a really big struggle that like I can't deal with. Hopefully, I mean, thankfully it didn't. But it is a thought, like, you know, like how far will a person go? I mean, it's up to really it. I feel like there's such like strong-willed people to stay in something that like
it's like hurtful to them.
So hurtful to them.
Which I mean, we have.
Which we have, but it was just interesting that it was a concept to me in my head that I was like, what will she be like? What will this relationship feel like?
Yeah.
Once that is removed, or like when that is no longer there.
I mean, I think it's fair and like valid for you to feel those things, and like maybe you felt like guilty thinking that, like, because obviously like, oh my god, it's not about me, but also at the end of the day, it will be like how she is after that.
I will say I never thought, like, we're not going to be together anymore. It's just, like, how difficult is this going to get? You know, like, how far, I don't know. It's a scary thought. Like, you know, you never know how someone's going to grieve, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And I guess it's not something you have to, like, over-communicate in that aspect, like, in that specific scenario. But it's just, like, I think being aware of that makes you a good partner. You know what I mean? Because, like,
that's fair.
You could have just been like, it'll be fine. This isn't a big deal. Or like,
right.
It is what it is. Or like, get over it type shit. Or I don't know. You know, like some people just have that mindset of like, well, it wouldn't affect me, so it shouldn't affect you. Or, and it's just like, why are you in a relationship?
Literally, that's what I keep saying. Like it just feels so like natural to just be a supportive person. I literally can't like conceptualize someone not being supportive. Yet we've been in unsupportive relationships. So I'm like, wow.
But I just like what attracted me to that person because and then back to the like looking for my person, I'm like, how do you even seek that out? Because you don't know. Like you go into these relationships, we thought we were with good people. Not to say that they're bad people or whatever, but like we thought they were that they were good people like us. You know what I mean? And they were not good people like us. And that's okay. It's fine. But it's just like, I guess a whole nother topic of like, what do you actually even fucking look for when you're dating? Which maybe we'll talk about in the like dating after infidelity or some shit. I don't fucking know. But anyways. Hopefully this hit. I think this is a topic I probably think about obviously more often when I'm in a relationship. But even too, like looking for a person, like you just gotta, I'm gonna send this to all the people I'm dating. All the 0 people I'm dating right now. But like as people roll in, I'm like, listen to this episode. Do you agree or not? Because get out.
How do you feel?
Literally. If you're in a relationship, I hope neither of you are struggling right now, but if you are, it's okay. And just be gentle with one another and kind and
be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's the best thing that you can possibly do is being like very brutally honest with yourself and honestly your partner.
Yeah. Fair enough. So we'll see you guys in Glowing Hour. Hopefully a little more lighthearted.
Okay. Bye.